Welcome to the world building segment of this stream, where we are in the process of creating our own setting, and this is the world as it looks right now. This is effectively Europe, the size of Europe in our area. Oh, and actually there's one other thing I need to do, and that is send a message on Discord to say switching to world building. There we go. So in the last stream, we established this far western area, the northwest over here, adding a couple of sandy islands, which is basically the runoff from the mountains over here. The sediment is basically gathered and formed a couple of islands, kind of like what Denmark is, sediment runoff from Norway. And this is very much Norwegian-type, Norwegian-esque territory there. So that is what we are doing at the moment. There are two areas of the world in particular that we have not really touched yet. Did we do anything over here? Yes, we did. Of course we did. That's the Dragonborn area. That is over here. The outer areas of the Dwarven realm. So the dwarves are in this mountain range and this mountain range, and then basically trade passes through the desert, stopping off at the Ice Dragon's glacier, the Ice Oasis. We need to sort out basically what's happening in the hinterlands back here, which is going to be far more low country-esque, and would be the type of territory which would be, what would that kind of, maybe like Germany? Temperature-wise. Or Balkans, maybe? Like if we consider this is Iberia/Italy, this is slightly further north. It's further south than France. It's the bit in between the two. It's like northern Italy, northern Spain. And then the other area that we haven't really touched is this bit over here, which is more or less untouched. We really haven't done anything with that bit. And that's pretty much it. The only other bit that I may want to touch up a bit is this region here and just add a bit more forest. It's incredibly open. This looks like a giant plain rather than a proper area. Like, I think I've done a better job of it down this way. So yeah, like North Balkans, Carpathians, Hungary, that type of area. Yes, absolutely. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So it's effectively all of this. Then the other bit that we have not yet touched are the islands. We did do... No, we haven't done any of these. But the islands I'm not planning to really inhabit until later. Is that true? Maybe we should do a little bit on those. Like this one, I do want to have the turtles, and I think they're going to be there from pretty much the start. And they could definitely have a bearing on some of the southern development in this. But this doesn't really become important until the orcs arrive. Then there's likely a continent to the south of this, which is where it's like North Africa type thing. Haven't decided what races live there, though. So for those of you joining us for the first time, this inland sea used to be more landlocked, used to be more land. Then there was a big magical explosion, which was caused by one of the gods being murdered by the other gods. And big explosion. This fills in with water as the bridge, the land bridge that was here, has been breached and the ocean basically floods in. This is the Shield Mountains, which is where the gnomes grew up. Then on the outskirts, near the explosion crater, this is all human. Then the bits which are a bit further away, that's elven. The reason for that is those closest to the center of the explosion had all of the magic burned out of them, so they don't innately have magical power. They can still learn it, they can still have sorcerers and wizards and things like that, but innately they don't have it. Then over here we have the elves, which do have some lingering magic. This is effectively the Feywild, which is a big cloud of magic dumped on top of it, like Fallout. Over here we have mountainous region. We haven't really decided what happens over here, but it is there and available. Then this section here between the gnomes and the humans, that's where the halflings are going to be. Because they are basically what happens if gnomes and halflings get together. Then we have the dwarves over here. They have a completely separate evolution to the elves, humans, and gnomes. Those are all related to the same race. Then further to the east, we have the Dragonborn, The Dragonborn were one of the migrant waves that came in and eventually settled down here, so this is going to be the Dragonborn outpost. They're still going to have frequent access and trade further east. We'll have centaurs kind of in the connecting areas. Dwarves are here, and then we have trolls in these bits. And apparently, in D&D, trolls and giants are related. Trolls are a giant kin. So I'm thinking the dwarves are also giant kin. So this could have been a giantish area. I think I might also put some giants or something up here. We were talking about maybe kobold. No, goblins. We're talking about goblins up here. Like hardier, Norse-inspired type goblins. Cat people will be further south. And possibly further east. I love the section we did last time. Looks so natural. I know, I keep looking at this. I'm like, we did a really good job on that. We've learned a lot, I think, about the world building with that section. I think that probably is the strongest. I do like the dwarven area. The dwarven area happened kind of by accident. I also really like this. I think we've done a great job with the peninsula. Dwarves being related to trolls. No, well, in D&D lore, trolls are related to giants. Dwarves aren't, but in my setting, dwarves are related to giants. Seafaring raiding goblins are a cool idea. That's what I was thinking, especially because you could have them along some of these islands, and then they'd be raiding this coastline. So maybe goblins control this section, and something meaner and nastier is up in the north. I did think of something else that could be further north. Ogres. Ogres could be up here. Or possibly down here. We could even have the ogres in kind of the nicer area where they effectively forced the dwarves into the mountains. Anyway, this is the area that we now need to work on. So I still kind of like the scattering of mountains out here. So it's just rough. And I like the fact that there's mountains here. We could have a river flowing. In fact, it's very natural for a river to be going that way. And then that would suggest that there's a big dwarven trade city right here, which is where a lot of the trade from the east arrives. Then it goes through the desert and then into the inland sea. Although it could also go this way. There is a little pass there. So I think we need to have something else dangerous in here, something hostile. So that east-west trade is difficult. That's the main goal here, is I want to have the main trade outlet coming through this. Ogres are giant kin as well, yes. We were talking about the trolls being magically mutated giants. Yeah, I was thinking ogres would just be the natural evolution of giants. They got smaller because they couldn't sustain themselves quite so effectively. And then trolls would be the mutated ones. So I actually came up with a bunch of lore for kobolds, dragons, drakes, and... Dragons, drakes... Dragonborn and kobolds. Yeah, those are the 4 related dragonkin races. They are definitely from the east. And the thing I had about them is I've been reading a lot of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Trying to remember what it was called. Basically, in this setting, dragons are directly related to treasure. So the dragon hordes in this are basically the basis of their power. So maybe there is something like gold absorbs magical energy or something, which is why you get magical jewelry and stuff made out of gold. Maybe platinum. Maybe silver. Regardless. And then basically when enough treasure congregates in an area, it can basically form into a dragon. Either the dragons can get eggs there, I haven't decided, or they literally become a dragon. So the dragons reproduce by having big treasure hoards. Then the treasure hoards are guarded by other dragon kin, If a horde becomes a dragon but isn't then sustained, that's what a drake is. And then dragonborn. So dragonborn and kobolds, I think, are created by dragons. Then the dragons themselves are created by treasure hordes. Is there distinct on what the treasure can be, where we have a dragon that can collect junk and mechanical bits? No, it would have to be magical, or it would have to be valuable materials. So silver, gold, platinum. I mean, part of the reason why they might be so valuable in this setting is because they have that latent magical energy or something like that. Or they have that link to magic. Finding a setting where smog-like dragons make sense. Yeah, exactly. So, the idea here is the older the dragon, the bigger their horde, the more likely they are to then create more dragons. And that gives you the dragons a whole reason to be going after treasure, is because they're trying to reproduce. And this also gives the social structure of the Eastern Empires, where they are ruled openly by dragons. Dragons are, I'm not going to say common, they're still rare, but they will openly rule kingdoms. And the entire purpose of those kingdoms is to get more treasure. And this also is what drives some of these migrations to the west, because generally those kingdoms are based around mining, trade, anything that can create wealth. And if those wealth creation mechanics stop, if the mines may run dry for a while, if they don't have the technology to dig ever deeper, that's when the wars start. And if those wars start happening between the Eastern Empires and they still don't have a source of wealth, then basically a great conqueror will rise and they will send a horde to the to the west, to basically go and plunder and loot. And that's where the Dragonborn come in. The Dragonborn are like the draconic soldiers. The kobolds are like the draconic workers. So what's the ice dragon in the middle of the desert sleeping on ice gems? I don't know. It's a good question. He might be hibernating because he doesn't have enough treasure. Would metallic versus chromatic dragons be relevant here? Yes, I was thinking that pure dragons are metallic. Corrupted dragons, so those who come into contact with Mordius, or just too much magic, are the chromatics. So the original dragons are metallics, and that's why they hate each other. Because the metallics see the chromatics as impure. Which also leads to the interesting question of, well, if metallics reproduce through metals and wealth. In fact, that's generally how it's like if you have a large horde of brass, you have a brass dragon. If you have a large horde of silver, you have a silver dragon. If you have a large horde of gold, you have a gold dragon. If you have a large horde of platinum, you have a platinum dragon, which also means that there's a bit of a hierarchy. The more valuable the metal, the higher the social status of that dragon. And then the chromatics are where there was too much magic, basically. The balance was off. So the chromatics, there was like an elemental portal to the plane of fire or something like that nearby, which corrupted the horde with the elemental side, and that's why they became chromatic. So if a dragon were to create a satellite horde, a horde in a different location from the main horde to decentralize their treasure, could that horde become a dragon or a drake if the main dragon isn't careful? Yes. And in many instances they want to. Like, that is how they reproduce. That is how the legendary dragons get this large family of other dragons who all serve them. They would be the tributaries, effectively, because they're younger. They're not as powerful. Like, this is why Draconic Age is still so important. A legendary dragon is going to kick the living daylights out of an adult dragon every time. What about lesser dragons made out of different materials, alloys? Yeah, we could certainly do that. Like, I think yeah. Getting a bit too complicated now, but yes, that's how I've been thinking about the metallics. They make nests out of smaller hordes and then leave an egg there. Yep, pretty much. And I think it literally is they lay an egg, then that egg absorbs the wealth, then it eventually forms a dragon. If there ain't enough wealth to sustain that egg, then it becomes a drake. So drakes are relatively common because they keep on trying to produce more dragons. They don't always have the horde to do it. Got a lot of brains going at once here. It's like you took a bunch of people who always said they wanted to write and took away all the reasons to be not to be creative. I mean, that's why I like these streams, because it just lets people just go, creativity. And it's actually been really good doing this as a stream for this reason. How intelligent is the drake compared to a full dragon? Not very. Drakes are like intelligence 4 or something like that, whereas dragons are often superior to human. Like, I would say that dragons see drakes as pets. They'd be very high status pets. They'd still be a pet. Interesting to see someone steal an egg in order to groom a dragon ruler. That could happen. What if chromatic dragons were like cuckoo, sometimes corrupting a horde that way? I mean, green dragons would certainly do that. Red dragons too, probably. Or at least red dragons would be the conquerors. Anyway, let's get back to this, because the dragon stuff is way down the line. I just wanted to have like this idea in mind of how the Eastern Realms are supposed to be organized. Although, that being said, I should make a note about that. In fact, I started doing that right here. Spawned from dragon horns, draconic realms are very wealth orientated to ensure that continued spawnings happen. Kobolds and dragonborn are empowered by the horde. Bigger the horde, the bigger the spawning. While dragons are literally made of the treasure. If a dragon head is produced, then it consumes a significant portion of the horde. Does this mean that all dragons are female? Yes, probably. Which is an interesting point. Dragons are matriarchal. They'd have no reason for male dragons. Are there magical ley lines in this world? No. So magic, remember, is a raw material. It is... Sorry, it is a material thing. Anyway, I have actually written pretty much everything I needed to say about the dragons there, so that is fine. Back on the side. Right, so I want to continue working on this. So this southern section is gonna be probably somewhat forested. And I could see this area down here being swampy. I mean, look how many lakes and things there are. In fact, this could be a bit of a lake district. I'm in the wrong program. There we go. I was like, why is this blurring? It's because I'm on the look around program, not the draw stuff on it program. Okay, so how do I want to manage this? In fact, I'm wondering if I want to just remove these mountains. They don't seem particularly important there. And I want to make this again swampy. Like, this could be a third troll encampment. In fact, is there something that could have emerged from trolls? Lizardmen, maybe? Which would be more capable of civilization. Because, yeah, this does feel like a troll area. This feels like a really trollish area. So the dwarves are just surrounded by them. So I'm thinking that this down here should be mostly marsh. Although, actually, I'm going to put some mountains here. Maybe some hills. You know what? Let's make this hills. Shrub hill. First thing I need to do is turn this on to classic only. to make this shrubland hill. Not there. Here. And more land. Going around there, where it's a bit more highlandy type area. This whole region. And then swamp. I think this is going to be full on swamp. In that section, and then probably marsh. On this. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to continue the feel that the hills are coming through here. So this is probably going out a little bit too far, so let's turn that more into moors again. With some bare hills. There. Better. Ogrelons. Ogrelons are related to ogres, though. So you're saying put the mountains a bit further in. Yeah, I like that more, actually. I kind of like the idea that these might be like isolated dwarven holds trying to hold this Southland in the midst of just a really nasty area. And then I think I'm going to turn this. Whoops. Into marsh. I mean, there could probably be some dryness, like, inside here. Maybe we'll just turn that into swamp. We'll have a little bit of a swamp coming down this way. Oh yeah, that looks nasty. I like it. And then as you come over here, it does get a little bit nicer. So this is probably the route of one of the rivers. So I'm just going to go back to farmland because I'm just going to fill these bits in. Definitely not having a desert here. This is one of the slightly more fertile areas. Although I kind of feel like the desert should spread out this way. So we're using... what is that? We could put poor grassland there. Desert rocky, that's what that is. And then I think I might just make this just a little bit of mountain area there. Another bit of desert rocky. Let's get rid of some of that. And then around here, I think it's actually going to be quite nice. That volcano is still active. Yeah, these 3 volcanoes are still going to be active. So the territory around this in particular is going to be fertile. This is going to be grassland. And heavy forest. And then let's go forested hills. And I think I'm actually just going to get rid of these mountains. We're going to turn this into just forested hill area. And the reason I want to do that is because I want this to kind of be a lonely mountain type situation. There's Erebor right there. And then those hills are definitely going to be grassy. Because they have their own water source. They have a river coming through here. And then all of that here is going to be fabulous grassland. This is the dwarven bread basket. In fact, I'm tempted just to make this straight up farmland. Yeah, that bit should just be straight up farmland. In here. And then around the edges of that we'll put grassland, which is the fertile but not quite as good. Which can go around here. And I think I might turn this back into marsh. And I quite like the idea that this is forest. This woodland here is part of the reason why this is not marsh. It's because the roots have kept the ground together more. Hasn't become saturated. It's got better drainage. And then up there we probably have more grassland. Out to here. Where there's a little bit of alluvial runoff, but not a huge amount. And then probably a tiny bit of grazing land. No, this is where the mountains... No, this is going to be good stuff. Like this whole section is going to be high quality. And poor grassland as it gets into the desert where there isn't enough water. Let's have grassland there. Let's have grassy hills. All of this can be grassy hills. Okay, river time. So I think the first part of this is going to be stream. Where it literally just comes out through here. No, don't like that. Start it from the middle and whoops. I kind of feel like maybe it should come this way. No. Don't like that either. How do I want this river going? Literally just straight down? Feels a bit boring. There we go. Then what I want to do here, I think I might actually just stick another forested hill. Then we should probably have a little area which is just regular old forest rather than heavy forest. Just going to be that. Yeah, there we go. I like it. I like it. And then this is where things get interesting, because that then becomes river, which is navigable. I think I might get rid of you. You're kind of in the way. Farmland. And then I'm thinking that there is another stream branch that comes through here and then joins the main thing. And possibly even one that comes through here that joins into that. Hey, Cleaners. Warbird, thank you very much for the 54-month resubscription. Really appreciate that ongoing support there, Warbird. Thank you. And then I think this bit's okay being dry. I think I might just go ahead and add a tiny bit more rocky desert so that doesn't get caught out. And this is probably going to be grazing. Like, it's all right land. It's not great though. And then just woodland. Problem with this is getting a bit warmer. So it looks a bit more like that. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Then I think I might also put some shrubland up in this little area. This is very much Scottish Highlands type deal. And that becomes grazing land. I don't like there being mountains there, so we're just going to get rid of them. And that should be... Oh wait, sorry, moors, not shrubland. Wrong thing. This bit should be shrubland. Yeah. The area inside the mountains could be some kind of fertile crescent. Possibly. I was kind of thinking that would be a bit of an Amaldir from... Ambernar type deal. I mean, I think there's definitely going to be dwarven. This is probably the most densely populated area of the Dwarven Mountains, Because they're close to their breadbasket, they're close to the trade deal, they're on the path of the trade route going to the ocean where the big city is going to be. So this is probably roughly where the dwarven capital is. Because it's on a nice little crossroads. You've also got the road going from the Ice Oasis there. So the dwarven capital is probably in these mountains. Yeah, that's true. Yes, there would be several different realms. I meant more the centre of dwarven civilization, and then there'd be others. Like, there is another definite realm up here. So possibly like one here, one here, one here. At least one here. There'll be various different ones. Now, this is coming to further south. What type of terrain should this be? I mean, we were using poor grasslands, but we're not quite that far south. I think this would just be grazing land again. I'm quite happy for this area to be fairly heavily forested. That works for me. Maybe some marsh again in the south. Kind of feel like this should be lower. No, this is fine. I kind of like the idea that there's a big old forest down here too. That kind of works for me. Forest Hill, there, there. Then we can have light forest going onto that. And then that goes up into grazing. No, that goes up into moors again. Up here. Where things are still pretty high up. Say that there are, oops, some high up mountains in that bit. We get some more grazing land as we come to the lowlands. This is lowland Scotland, this is highland Scotland. Then as we're getting further north temperature wise, I actually think I might turn some of this into grass. As that bit's quite temperate. And there should be enough rainfall out here to make that green. So it's another pretty alright area. I think that's going to turn into forest. as you get down that way. And then all of the bit up there. I mean, as we're getting further north, this really is just grassland. This bit shouldn't be. This should be probably moors again. Yeah, this is still all pretty high. So that should be grazing land. This is grazing pasture right there. And that should be moors up here. And then I think I might just turn those into mountainous forest with heavy forest. In between. And then as we come around here, I think that this is also going to be another nice area as the swamps dry up. Because again, this is all temperate. I don't know, am I giving the dwarves too much nice land here? I think I might be. Make that all grazing because it's too high up. And then this, just grassland. A nice old lake up there. That works for me. Then we'll add this to be a bit more woodland. Bit of woodland in there as well. Okay. I did say this rear part of the Dwarven realm would be quite nice, so I can imagine this being hit several times from eastern invaders. And at least up to here should be nice. Then we probably go grazing land as we get further into the hills. Something like that. There we go. Yeah. And then around the swamp. But grazing land. Expand out the swamp that way, then I think I might also expand out the swamp to here. Then have these being grazing. So it's a little bit dangerous sailing through here, but there's probably a dwarven city there. And then a big old river. Which probably comes down here. Oh, missed a little bit. These hills should probably be... Actually, these could be grassy hills. And these should definitely be grassy hills. So should these, because they're not dry. They're not green, but they're not dry. There we go, that's better. Likewise with these. Grassy hills. Except down here they do get drier. Do you have a Forest of Fangorn type area? I mean, we have the Feywild, which is up here. Right, we need to do a tiny bit of work here in the center, because that should be desert. There's a couple of little pieces over here as well that need to be changed. Those should probably be grazing land. Or forest. Let's just make those forest. Keep it simple. And in fact, I think that there might be a little section of farmland here. Which is clearly where one of the rivers is going to pass through. So, let's go with the river. Because there is definitely going to be a river that flows through to here. And I think there might even be a big old river that goes out to, say, here. You know what, I kind of fancy putting a lake in the middle of this. And this could be one of the, like, the great dwarven engineering projects. Is basically making a connection through here, so there's probably some kind of tunnel. Or some other way through. No, I don't like that path. Get rid of you. I think I might make a little bit more hilly ground here than have the river come through this way. Yeah, something like that. No, I still don't like that. How do I want this river to flow? I think it should be more maybe through here. No, it shouldn't be that small. I think it might be the shape of the lake that I don't like. I also kind of feel like this should be bigger. Why not let it split? Because split rivers coming out of lakes is unlikely, because water will just choose the path of least resistance. Go up and over a mountain tile. Think about that one for a second there, Lord Deathhand. What do you mean around here? Make this into a valley. I mean, I kind of like the fact that this is more open. So we could turn this into grassland. We could turn that into grassland as well. That does make a bit more sense to me. And then the river would come through this. There you go. That looks better. I'm also thinking that I may want to have this mountain range go that way, and then have more water coming through this. I mean, definitely streams are feeding into this. I think I should probably put some hills here, otherwise the water would just... Well, actually, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Whoa, oh shoot. Okay, we're good. I was thinking, okay. Little stream going in that way. There we go, that works. And we probably want to play with exactly where that grassland is, because the grassland should follow the water. And we can put the grazing land up there. Like so. And then I think there's going to be even more. Connecting in like so. Oh, I did. You're right. Well spotted. That should be river. Thank you. Kind of thinking that this section, at least up to here, should be river as well. Except for that last little section. So I'm going to need to... delete you. Then we're going to go line, river from here. Another line which is going to be stream, which is you. Then where that is, you're navigable, like so. So there's going to be a lot of shipping around here, which is good. Yay, boat dwarves. And I also kind of feel like there should be another one that comes from, like, here. Yeah. Shapes, line, stream, strism. I wish there was a way of deleting that. Oh wait, there is. Delete preset. Preset name, strism. Bye-bye. Alright, stream. That was just me misspelling stuff. I kind of want... coming through there. But once it hits about here, it should become a river. There we go. So that is going to be one important nexus, which is why this is such an important part of the trade network. And then I think here there's going to be a river. I mean, certainly a stream. It cuts through there. Cuts through here. And then becomes a river. Once it hits there. Then exits that. And this is like a delta, that's why that's so messy. And then there's a bunch of other streams which basically connect into this. Particularly through that. These mountains empty into that. And then I don't really know where these lakes have come from, so I might just get rid of those. Better. Much better. Random lakes don't add much, so I should probably do something with these ones as well. And I will. I'm going to turn... You, and you. Sorry, and you. And you. Let's make that hilly forest. With then... forest. Down like so. Boom. And then we have some random green farmland here, which I think should really be grazing. I think a lot of this stuff that comes up close to the mountain should be grazing, just because it's higher. And those should be grassy hills as opposed to... Oh, we have forest wetlands too. I haven't even used that. Forest wetlands as opposed to swamp. I mean, there's a couple of places which should probably be forest wetlands rather than swamp. Also, there's jungle in the middle of this. Ew! That's areas I clearly forgot previously, so let's just turn you into forest. Let's make some heavy forest in the middle here too. And then we'll make some hilly forest. Like those. Because I did want fake France to be a bit more wooded. And then we'll put this grassy hill. Hilly grassland, there we go, because that shouldn't be dry. And this should definitely not be wet. This is just hilly grassland. Once you get to that bit, that can be wet, sure. Then we've got more jungle here. Where's that coming from? I think that's supposed to be swamp. There we go. And then these little bits here as well, which I think are probably just areas that were not touched up before. That a little bit more forest. You. And you. With some more thick forest as we get closer to the mountains. Then I think that there should be more like grazing land. Like so. Yeah! Oh, hey Drips. How you doing? What's the game? D&D game at some point in the future. Yeah, these 3 are volcanoes. 4. There's 4 volcanoes down here. Do I really want you being a volcano? You don't really make much sense being a volcano. You're just going to be, boop, mountain. You know what? Let's put some high mountains in here. And in here. In fact, the highest mountain should probably be this bit. So we got pretty fertile area, very fertile area. Rain Shadow Desert. Randomly fertile area here, that's too fertile. Let's go with grazing land. And dry hill. Why are you green hills? You should not be green hills. You should be, if anything, grassy hills. You lot in particular. And then I think, honestly, we're just going to make you regular old hills after that. And that's the big old pass. Gets through there. Is that fake Crete south of France? One of these. I mean, these are basically just the remnants of this mountain chain that have got eroded. My favourite bit's still this. I love this. I think this looks so cool. I'm happy with this now. Much happier than I was. I still think that like the dwarven area is perhaps a bit too green. You know what, let's turn more of this into grazing land. Like the bits around the rivers can probably be grass. And then maybe these bits here in the north. There we go. Yeah, that makes me happier. It's just drier. And then this is a bit lower lying. That's better. That's much better. There should probably be rivers coming through here, ending out there. And in fact, there should definitely be a river that way. Otherwise, where is this draining to? So I would say that this is probably navigable until about here. There's a big old... a dormant volcano there. So let's make this. the big old river. And we can have a couple of streams feeding into that from up here. Something like that. Probably another branch from this side, probably coming in from there. Which is why this is a bit more worn away. And yeah, I think the big dwarven city will be right there. And there's a pass that leads out to here, so trade routes come into here. Stop off there. And I'm thinking there's probably, like, one of the big dwarven innovations would be a tunnel that runs through this. With a canal maybe going through here. And that's how you would connect through here. So you could completely bypass this bit. Yeah, that makes most sense. I was thinking maybe put some hills here so there's a natural pass like through there, but I don't think we need a natural pass there. I think that would be an interesting tunnel. Now, pretty much all of these should be big old rivers. Whoa, no, don't do that. Ah! Now, there's no reason for this not to be navigable. Except maybe the bits that go right up into wherever it is they go into. Yeah, that's better. In which case, why wouldn't rivers go this way? I mean, some of them might. There wouldn't just be one exit. And the idea is that this area gets quite a lot of rainfall. That looks weird. I don't like that at all. I still don't like this. How would that drain? It's not enough of a basin to drain in the way that it's currently draining. I think that this branch is too artificial. This would come through here and just drain out that way. Yeah, I'm thinking this does need a bit more something. It's too flat. Like, I do like the fact that we've still got, like, the continuation of the mountain range here. Like, that's clearly a fault line. But we need more features in this. And also, as much as I've enjoyed making all of this grassland, I don't think it should be. Some of it, at the very least, will need to be forest, and I think I might put some forest around here. So let's do that. Let's turn this into a big old forest. And then I think we'll just put grazing land. In this central area. So we can kind of say that this is a little higher up. And then that shouldn't be green hills, that should be grassy hills. And yeah, I think I'll put some more hills. Like there. And maybe some more edging out from this. With a bit more grazing. Then I think I need another forest here. With some more heavier stuff in the middle. Which fades out into the hills. In the north. In the south, it remains heavy. Oh, if that's an old volcano, then I think this can probably be an alluvial plain. Probably a river. Large flatlands are okay. I live in the Great Plains in the US. I tell you, the guy who made our terrain got really lazy by the time he got to us. I mean, this is kind of like, this is more France and Poland. So there should be little bits of difference. I'm not saying it should all be. I mean, already this is looking more featured and interesting. Then I think we should have some more grassy hills up here. maybe which kind of come out to a bit of a point there. Because the other nice thing about this is going to give me a little bit of a feature for rivers. Have a bit more loose woodland up here. Bit more forest on that side, which is why this kept its shape. Something like this. There should definitely be more of the same in here as we start to get to the really high bits. There we go. That looks better. There's more going on. So we still have the super fertile area. In fact, if anywhere was going to be green hills, it would probably be the middle of this. And then we can start playing around with the rivers. So we'll start out with the streams. Because I definitely feel like this should lead out. Maybe kind of towards here, then have the rivers feeding into it. Because this is fairly deep water. This is like an old glacial lake. So we definitely have a river probably coming through, feeding straight into that. Then this would be the inlet of something fairly major. Kind of wondering if we should have a lake or something in here. That's why it's been divoted out. If we're thinking France, wouldn't it have more sense for the rivers to be going to the ocean? You mean south instead of north? I don't disagree. In fact, I kind of like that. I can trace a bit of a better river through here. So if we go up around like this. And end with it being navigable about there. Or actually, let's have it going through the center to about here. Then we get the streams, which are flowing into you. Actually, that one should probably be navigable as well. Yeah, that's already looking more natural. Then I think I might just put a big old lake in here. Something like this. And then part of the reason I say that is we can have rivers coming in from over here too, which would again be navigable. At least up till here. Switch back to the streams. Oops. You should really just, whoops, be the beginning of that. I almost feel like there should be a connection through here. But then that means that this lake would be flowing out into two different directions. Which isn't unrealistic. Strategically though, do I want that? Actually, yeah, it's fine. As long as you're not cutting the peninsula off, it's fine. So it is entirely possible to completely bisect this. And then the reason that exists is because this is higher up. So I feel like there needs to be some kind of raised terrain around here as well. So to make that look like it's happening, we're going to create some grazing ground here in the middle. So then it really is the rivers which are like the really fertile areas. And then the bits that lead up to it. So there we go. We've got some grazing ground there. So the rivery bits are great. So there we go. Something like that. And those hills should really be grassy hills, not hills. It's going to help me to turn this into more hilly. That looks a ton more natural. Triple River Valley. I mean, this is feeding into there. This is feeding into this. This is also feeding out. So I kind of feel like this needs to be fed by something bigger than just that. So how about we make that a bigger mountain range? And you know what? For those of you who are volcano fans, there's a volcano right there. I'm going to take that one away. You only get one. not that one. That one. Well, you win some, you lose some. For some reason, this makes me think of Spain. Not that that's bad. I mean, yeah, this is definitely, temperature-wise, supposed to be more France. Spain is kind of this. I mean, I may have overdone it slightly on the grass. Although that also means that you're more on par with the grass, which is here. I just prefer the look of this. I think this just looks more interesting. And there is a random hill there that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. So let's get rid of you. I think I might just turn that into another little hilly area. But that feeds into this directly. Canal between France and Spain, man-made. You mean here? That's going to be the Byzantium. That's the Istanbul. That's the Constantinople of this world. Basically cutting off this entire peninsula. But it's not built yet. Same as the Dwarven Canal through here. Though this is probably built earlier. Because dwarves. You know what? I've taken a lot of really good terrain away from you, so I'm going to give you some back. We're going to make this very, very, very fertile. And we're going to give you a little bit of grassland back in here as well. Because this is supposed to be good stuff. And I don't really want to take that away from you. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I do feel like I've been a bit too harsh with the grazing ground here. There we go. I agree, more grain, justified by this being a grassy and green watershed. Yeah. Do I have anything which would be between grassland and grazing land, really? We have forest, wetland. I don't think it's really justified, though. I mean, I can just make this whole area just greener. Not sure why this is that way. I think what I might do is just put some hilly grassland around there. And then just turn that all into regular grassland. Maybe some forest. There we go. And you should be hilly forest. Like so. I feel like there should be a bit more heavy forest in here. There we go. Some more streams that feed into the Middle Lake. Actually, this doesn't feed into anything. That's a good point. Yeah, this should. It looks weird. Still don't like that. At least part of that should be navigable, probably up to here. And then at that point it becomes a stream. Which goes up into the mountains. I kind of feel like there should be... And now it's like a proper crater valley in here. I'm not sure I like it with so many. I feel like you'd... no, you probably wouldn't go in there. Does that work? Instead of having you feeding into... No, don't like that. I like that even less. I mean, if anything, I should just take this away and then have it feeding into there. But then why is this here? We'll just feed into there, surely. In fact, we'll probably go that way. Oh, that might work. There you go. And there's some messed up areas still up here. I keep finding these little areas that are just not being touched up yet. I'm sure that's going to be happening like right in, through development of just be like, this needs to be changed. And that should just be grassland. Fixed. Okay, so I am happy with that. I am happy with that. The last bit we need to do... I thought there was one other area that was a bit chaotic. And I kind of felt it like it was around here. But no, I think I have actually done that bit before. I mean, this world could probably do with just more rivers, though maybe these are just the biggest ones. Am I done with the islands? I haven't even looked at the islands. I wasn't going to bother. Because the islands don't really come into play until later. I think at this point we're pretty much ready to say, right, this is going to be the main starting areas of the humans, the elves, the dwarves, the gnomes. And the trolls. Maybe the ogres. We should probably create a list of, like, all of the humanoids that we want to have. Lakes only have one outflow in real life. It's impossible to have two meet in different oceans. Not entirely true. There are actually several that do flow both ways. But I kind of agree with you. This one should just flow that way. This flowing this way is a bit weird. Fortunately, that's that whole section. I still don't like these rivers here. This northern bit's good. Don't like the southern bit. I'm wondering if I should just complete the mountain range and just have that just cut off. Or, well, you know what, that might work even better. Keep that bit and then remove this bit. Because I've said before that this is effectively a glacier, that's why this is so deep. I think that actually looks more realistic. This is one of the first areas that I did, so I don't necessarily... Well, that's also jungle, which shouldn't be there. It was always intended that this would be quite fertile. So I think it's going to be intended. That will be too. Interesting that a more southern area is going to be more lucrative than this. But this is going to be older. There's going to be more humans around here. Northern part of the forest. Ah, here! Yes, there it is. Yep, that's definitely not been done. Well spotted. Okay, so... Well, I mean, we could be lazy and just make most of this forest. This is Finland right here. We'll bring in some slightly lighter woods. And then probably some forested hills. And some grazing land that comes up here. In fact, that's probably actually... Where is it? Moors. There it is. And then let's do grassy hills for this bit. And then grassland. Coming out to there. Now, would that be green? It is on that side. So, yes. And then here, I think I might just make this moorland. So it's again kind of just a highland area in the centre. With a mixture of hills and forests. Like this, if I was thinking about it, would be prime Goliath territory. It's highlands and up here as well. Then as you get lower, you start getting some grazing land. And forests. Let's make these grassy hills. That too. And then this northern bit. Let's just make this like a highland pasture. Which would be grazing land. Super northern grazing land. This big old valley. And then we'll go some more moors. In there. I mean, that could also be shrubland. No, shrubland would be further south. This, I think, wants to be evergreen. Or mixed. Mixed is good too. Let's have mixed for all of this. Some heavy mixed in here. And then mixed. And then evergreen. And then as we get further north, I don't really care because it gets kind of too jumbled up in that bit. And it can become more tundra-like. So this bit is kind of like Icewind Dale. Honestly, this is Icewind Dale right here. Oh, we've still got some more grassland in here. Got to get rid of those. That'll do. No, it won't. We still got this little valley here, which I think we basically decided is an actual legit valley. Let's make those forested hills. Who are they? Good enough. Close enough. There's a few more bits over here, which I think I'm just going to be lazy. And turn into evergreen. Mostly it's just so it doesn't look like farmland up here, because it really shouldn't be. And then there's a tiny bit of farmland here, apparently, which should probably be grazing land. Seeing as that bit is too. Okay. I think that the continental part of this setting is now almost done. There's just a few random bits of desert, which must be purged. But I'm sure I'll keep on finding those for Years to come. God damn it, I really am. Time for some culture building. Yeah, I think that's going to come next week. Either we'll do the islands, or we'll do the cultures. But I kind of fancy doing the cultures. I think it might be time. I think it might well be time. Right, let's go and drop a save. This is going to be World Origin 8. We're going to go to tile width of 30. I'm going to go ahead and export that image. World Origin 8. Nah! There's more bits there! Oh well, never mind. Yeah, there are some parts of this map I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm well proud of that. The Ice Oasis, the Swamplands. I actually quite like this area. Whoops, I just did something there. I really like the Norway, Scandinavia bit. I actually really like our Italy as well. Yeah, this is going to be fun to start fleshing out. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button, just like my little did half an hour ago. Sorry, I missed that one at the time. If you have really enjoyed this and you would like to support the channel and everything that I do, then please do consider checking out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a Discord, which is where the community hangs out. They're a cool bunch, and it's always a pleasure to see some new faces over there as well. I do have a YouTube channel where all of the world building videos so far have been uploaded. So check them out if you are wondering how on earth we got to the stage where we are now. That's at youtube.com/MordredViking. I'll be back again tomorrow. No, I won't. Oh my gosh, I'm having a day off. No streams tomorrow. I'm going to the pub. Sorry. No streams tomorrow. I'll be back again on Friday. So Friday, we're going to be playing some Mount Blade at 5 PM GMT, and then after that at 10, Total War Warhammer 3, continuing with the Demon Prince. So I'll hope you join me for those games. Am I going to be playing Elden Ring? Nah. Elden Ring just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like the Dark Souls games, so it doesn't do anything for me. I play games for fun, not to get frustrated. Anyway, I think that's going to be all for now. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you all next time. Until then, bye-bye.